Thank you so much for being here and for listening to me yap on Mompreneur Mastery. If planning your content and strategizing it still feels harder than it should, check out the Content Chaos Reset. You give it a little bit of information about your business and your offer, and it'll plan 2 weeks of content for you, posts, emails, blogs, or podcasts that all support each other so you have a cohesive marketing plan. It's free and it's linked in the show notes, or you can head to sydneyobrien.com/reset, RESET. Welcome back to another episode of Mompreneur Mastery. Today, I get to talk to Alexandra, who is a twin mom, runs a business, and is also a podcast host. And I'm really excited to learn so much from her. Can you tell us a little bit about what your business is and how you got started in it?
Sure, of course. And thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on here. I'm Alexandra. I am the founder of Back to Home Base and also, again, the host of the Plan Dish podcast. But Back to Home Base is kind of like a digital lifestyle brand, which I'm trying to do, make it all about hosting and home life that's actually doable. Nothing's perfect because, again, I am a twin mom and chaos happens every single day. But I create digital party playbooks, easy recipes, and my personal favorite, my home-based hosting club, which is kind of like a done-for-you experience. So my whole thing is about people who love gathering, family, friends, don't have time to do over-the-top stuff. I just want to take the stress out of planning any much as I can. So want to break back down to the roots of connection and not perfection.
I love that. What got you interested in hosting? Have you always been into just like celebrating with people, hanging out with people, that like connection aspect of it?
Yeah, so honestly, it's crazy. I have people over at my house probably every single week, and I come from a huge family that whenever we would do massive get-togethers, it was always about planning the menu, planning the activities, and I absolutely loved that. And I was in corporate finance for 13 years, decided to leave that because it was very, was it, left-brained? And I always had this right brain of, I feel like, creativity. So I love curating the perfect hosting day. And again, nothing that's like crazy over the top. So that's kind of where that started from. And my husband one day was like, you should do this for a living because I love looking at decor, putting together menus, even down to even though my best friends know me, I still send them a fun little invitation online just because it's fun. It's giving my creative little passion out to the world. And that's kind of where that all started.
I love that. And like it is so fun. And it is like those little touches that make a big difference and make it like such a memorable event too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Um, and how long ago did you start your business?
I started this back in March. So almost been a year coming up this year, but it was kind of crazy. I left my company in March and I think I gave it 3 or 4 weeks before I realized I'm like, I love the stay-at-home mom thing, but I always felt like I was meant for something a little different. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of when I started getting this rolling and then the podcast started about 2 months later.
Mm-hmm. And how old are your kids now?
They are a little over 2. Their birthday was in August, and they're fraternal twin boys. So it is just, I know I keep saying chaos, but it is chaos. I don't know how to explain it better. They egg each other on too. I think that's the problem. Like I'll come over and
Yeah.
one's doing lights, our whole lights dining room switches, and the other one's kind of hoisting him up. And I'm like, this is just crazy.
Yeah. They're partners in crime for the
Oh,
rest
yeah.
of time.
Yes.
I have 3 boys. They are 5, 6, and 8, and I can only imagine what, like, they would have been like if as, like, multiples together. I Yeah,
I
chaos is
don't
the
even know
only
how you do
word.
3. I mean, oh my gosh, that's like outnumbered to me. I feel already feel outnumbered right now, but
Yeah, it's a lot.
yeah.
And I feel like it kind of gets better as they get older. Like, it gets hard, but in different ways, you
Mhm.
know? There's so many, like, interesting stages to kids where,
Yes.
like, I feel like once you get used to something, they are, like, developmentally onto a next stage that you have to, like, prepare for.
Oh my gosh, yes. I don't think I was prepared as much for the climbing as, like, I thought. The climbing, they're, like, hoisting themselves on my dining room buffet table, somehow getting up on chairs, pulling shelving down, and I'm just like, I was not prepared at all for that.
No, I feel this in my soul, honestly. My kids, I can't get it off. They climbed the
drawers up to get on the cabinets and, like, those, like, teeny tiny, like, cabinets above a fridge?
Yes.
They drew on those with, like, dry erase marker, and I can't get it off for the life of me. I don't know why. Like, they
Ugh.
have paper to draw on and a whiteboard. Kids are a little crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing I would like my husband and I talk about this all the time. I would just love a day in their brain because they could be sitting
Mhm.
and playing with something, and then all of a sudden it's like, light bulb, okay, I must go destroy something. And it's just
Yeah.
within a millisecond.
Yeah, and I must take, like, the most unsafe way to, like, get to
Yes.
that end goal every time.
Yes. Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah. So how do you balance, like, that kind of chaos while also running a business at home?
well, luckily I have my husband who has just been awesome at this. He's been like my biggest supporter and just telling me to like fly. So luckily he works from home full time. So that's kind of been kind of nice. And he has a strict schedule, but he's also able to be fluid. So if I have like a podcast call or something, he is able to kind of step in and help with the kids and then vice versa too. I'm mainly like the stay-at-home mom, so that's kind of like my main job, but we really do kind of 50-50. So like he'll work on for instance our whole podcast doc, or we call it our show doc beforehand, kind of like prepping what we want to talk about, help prep questions for guests. Whereas I'm on the more creative side. So I will do all of like more content, all the posting and recipe making. And of course, he says his contribution is eating the recipes. It is
Right, you gotta have a
definitely
taste tester.
absolutely. But it is so ebb and flow. It really like you could have a plan and the next day that goes to crap. So we just are trying to be fluid in this new season of life.
Yeah, I was talking doing, like, another interview, like, a couple hours ago, who is she was explaining, like, the need for rhythm as opposed to, like, strict schedules because something is always gonna happen, and you're gonna
Yeah.
get thrown off no matter what.
Oh my gosh, that was probably the biggest thing I learned after leaving my job is because I would go in every day, I would have my very strict schedule, and this is also pre-kids, and I was a very type A person, so I would go in, get everything done, and have to complete, like, my list, and that was the hardest thing when having kids, and then putting a business on top of that, you really can't have a strict schedule, so that's why now, like, I use my little was like a brain dump, but I'll write everything down, and I'll kinda just shift things the way the day is going, and that really has helped so much.
That's super smart. I feel like I do something very similar, and it took me, like, way too long to get there. 'Cause I was stuck on this, like, mindset of, "No, I have to do it this, like, very specific way," and of course, it never actually happened because something
Mhm.
always like, kid's gonna bump their head or get sick or something,
Yes.
and then I just felt, like, so bad about myself that, like, I didn't get this done. So it's a
Like,
lot of, like, the learning curve and also, like, giving yourself, like, a ton of grace as well.
100%. Like, that's the biggest thing because then otherwise you're just self-reprimanding yourself every night, and we
Yeah.
can't have that.
No, yeah, it's silly. What does your, like, day-to-day actually look like? How much time do you get to spend working versus managing the chaos?
So, we kind of like again, my husband and I kinda do little shifts. So in the morning, he gets up and he'll at least get the kids up and ready, and that's kinda my morning to either look at emails, work on content, and then drop the kids off at school, and luckily they're in 3 hours a day, which is kinda nice. So, if a kid is not sick, which we have not gone a full week without a kid getting sick, so that's very, very up and down. But when the kids are not sick, I try to sit down, at least get interviews done or work on some more content, work on recipes, and then from that time that they're home till nap, that's full kid time, and then if I'm lucky, if they nap the whole time, which is usually about 2 hours, I get another 2 hours. And then I call it witching hour, which is that 4 o'clock to probably 7:30, which you're just momming the crap out of yourself.
Yep.
It's like dinner, cleanup, bath. I know, clean make our dinner because sometimes we eat separately just because of just trying to be easy with the kids. But then cleaning up all their toys, and then usually I hate saying this, but by the time they go to bed, I'm so exhausted. Like, I'm definitely a morning person, so I can get way more done in the morning than the evening, but I try to, like, downshift with reading a book or watching a TV show, or my husband and I picked up, we love doing puzzles, so I'm so excited we got a new Christmas puzzle, so we'll probably start trying to do that in the evening, kinda just to downshift. I'm trying not to do any type of business stuff in the evening just to keep that as my time, my family time.
Yeah, good for you. You definitely should as much as you can. It's, like, so needed to have that downtime.
Yes. Oh, yes. Especially with
Yeah,
kids. I mean, like, I talk about this all the time with my friends. Like, you get into it, 100% is a new season with your husband and your partner or whatever. So it's just like finding that time. That's why I'm like scheduling, okay, we have our podcast and that's considered, more work side, but something we can do together that's fun and it might not be every day. So that's why our puzzle is kind of like our thing for the next like 2 weeks because these puzzles are huge.
yeah. I love puzzles. I haven't done one in so long though, but they're so fun.
I know. We kind of find a cheat code. So you'll find puzzles with like A, B, C, D, E, F on the back. So it kind of helps a little bit go faster. But yeah, that's my type A brain trying to get everything done at once. But it's fun.
Nice. Have you had to or have you found that you've had to set, like, some other boundaries that make, like, the mom life, business life balance work better?
I definitely will say the biggest boundary, if you can consider that, is giving myself grace for things when stuff comes up. Like, I had a whole day planned yesterday and my kid was home with a fever out of nowhere. And I had to learn to, like, okay, like that everything else has to be put aside. And this was what I was 100% meant to do, was be a mom and be there for my kid. We just decided to watch Mickey's Christmas or something, like I think probably 5 times over and over yesterday. But it was
Of
just like the
course.
time, and I'm setting that boundary, like, okay, that is my family time. This is what I need to be doing. Work is important, yes, but that can be set aside. So that's kind of like the biggest thing for us right now is just whatever comes up, you just kind of need to take care of it and deal with it and be there and be present.
Yeah. I think that's, like, for sure the most important thing, but also it's one of those things that, like, sounds so simple, but it's, like,
I
so
know.
hard to do.
I know. It is.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie, like, laying there, I thought of 50,000 things I could be doing. And I did try. Don't get me wrong. I did try to, like, get up and try to, like, sit at my desk because my desk is actually right next to my bed, and my son threw a fit. So, like, he had to be right next to me. So I was like, "Okay, that's fine. Deep breaths. We
Yeah.
can do this all day."
Yeah. Yeah. That's important, though. It's so hard when they're sick. I feel
It's like
like
extra attached too during that time.
yeah, always, like, without fail.
Mhm.
And always, like I hate to say it, I love my kids, but always, like, the grossest, like, the boogers, the
Oh my
coughing right
god.
in my face. It's not my favorite.
I know. I swear to God, I hate anything gross. Like, I can't deal with anything. And then when I had kids, it's like, okay, I have snot all over me and I couldn't care. But I still get
Yep.
grossed out.
Yeah. Yeah, there are certain things where I'm still like, "Mm, no, I need to call my husband to deal with this. This is not
Yeah.
me."
Yes.
What do you think is a mistake that you might have made early on in your business that a lot of other moms do that has made, like, a big difference for you to move past it?
Well, that is actually a really good question. I think the biggest mistake for me was trying to take on everything at once and try to perfect it all at once. Like, I come from a financial background, so I knew how to do my businesses Quicken or books or whatever. And I love being creative, but I didn't know how to build a website. I didn't know marketing. I still don't. So I think that was my biggest mistake, is trying to cram so much in and go on all these different platforms and do all this when really I should just utilize my strengths, put all that to the side. I mean, do I need a marketing person? Absolutely. Can I afford it right now? No, but just using everything at my own pace, doing everything at my own time, not trying to rush to do it. Like, it took me probably 3 months of teaching myself code, but I didn't do it in a weekend. Like, and also it's not possible to do that. So I think that was the biggest thing, was learning to thinking I can take everything on at once and really just knowing that there's time to do it and utilizing my strengths and reaching out for resources down the road.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that's someone I kind of struggled with as well, thinking everything had to be, like, perfect and done, like, all these different aspects of my business. Because it's one of those things, like, there's a lot more to it than you think
Yes.
before you, like, dig into it, and it can feel really overwhelming and, like, you have to have everything done all at once or it's just not gonna work, but, like, you can make it
Mhm.
work. It's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's my goal. Like, I hope when I can grow big enough that I can bring on certain people on my team to help with all that, because that's definitely the end goal.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. But I think that again goes back to like giving yourself grace in the meantime is always a good skill to have. Yeah. And I love that your whole brand is about connection. How does that value show up in the way you run your business?
I kind of filter everything that I do and through that. So my favorite thing is like my hosting club right now, and that is 100% based on connection. And I even tell people that it could be for a book club. It doesn't have to be for a whole event that you have people over. It could be your own family. And I put a lot of family activities in there too that you can do with adults and then also with kids just to create that connection, create that conversations and kind of like another creative aspect to do together. Um, and also, I'm very big on when it comes down to the food aspect, another way of doing connection is having everyone kind of make a dish or having everyone plan to make something part of your meal. Cause I'm a foodie. My love language is food. So whenever my friends get together, it's always a potluck and it's just sharing recipes, it's conversation starters. It's, for instance, my last year's Christmas party was doing a cookie party. And we all got to sit down together and paint cookies. And, cause, we do these little gingerbread men that are, you bake and you can actually paint them with real paint and they'll last for like so many years in your Christmas tree. But
Wow.
yeah, it's all about just doing something fun and together.
I love that. I didn't realize you had like kid things in there as well. That's so cool.
Mhm.
Even just like things with your own family. I feel like a lot of the time we get caught up in either like endless screen time or, things for like older kids, like sports tournaments, like
Yeah.
games, practices all the time. So having like that specific time where you can all come together and connect, it makes a big difference in like
Mhm.
family dynamics and relationships and also like sibling relationships as well.
Oh, yes, for sure. Like, I love the crafty aspect too. Like, cookies is our big thing too, like, besides the gingerbread men. And I know my boys are only 2. This will be their 3rd Christmas, but we're trying to make this a tradition is where we make gingerbread men and actually have them press on the cookie cutters, and it's just kinda like our little family time for that holiday that we do. But it's just something to keep traditions going and things you can do together.
That's so fun. Yeah, we do that too. And it's something we used to growing up, we used to do cookies every Christmas with like our next door neighbor. We would bake them
Oh,
because
it's
he
so
was like
fun.
really into cooking. And so now he will I don't live close to my parents anymore, but he will still give cookies, like the same kind of cookies that I made to my parents, and they'll, like, send me pictures or, like, bring them if they come visit for Christmas. Now I get to, like, do that with my kids now. That kind of, like, connection and tradition is, like, so fun
Oh my gosh, so important.
and has, like creates the best, like, core memories.
Oh, yes, and it's crazy too, like, when you have kids, it's like you're actually reliving, like you said, your own childhood memories, and it's like you're seeing it in a whole different light. Because I feel like that's
Yeah.
lost between when you move out of the house and the time you have kids. It's like, yes, holidays are great, but you get to see it through their eyes, and it's awesome. And anything too, just any type of family activity to see through their eyes is awesome.
Yeah, it's a whole new experience.
Mhm.
Running a business from home can feel really isolating. What helps you stay, like, grounded and connected when you have a lot going on?
My I still am a planner, so I'm very big much of a planner. So I have like a digital planner that I'll get on every single morning, and I never was a journaler either. And I'm not talking like I'm not a paragrapher, but I will get on my iPad because I like to write it on my iPad, and I'll write like a couple sentences in this little journal. It gives you like a prompt for the day, and then I will plan out my day and my week kind of every morning and just kind of shift things around just so I have an idea of what's going on. I connect it with my business side, I connect it with my family side. And then on Wednesdays, my husband and I kind of have like a little connection budget-ish meeting. We do like budget, what's going on for the week, everything. And so that's kind of very like we talk about business, we talk about home, what family members coming to visit again, like what do we need to prep for? So that's kind of like our little time that we get together to kind of figure out everything.
Yeah, that's nice. I feel like there's always so much going on. Having, like, the dedicated time to, like, sit and go over all the things that are happening is so smart.
Mhm. And I only could do it in the morning. If I, like, miss the morning, then don't get me wrong, it's not gonna happen that day. But, again, I'm a morning person. I have to get up and do that before anybody else is up. Otherwise, that day
Yeah.
is just it is what it is.
Yeah, that's valid. I'm feeling that especially right now when it gets so dark so early and I'm like ready to for bed at like 8 o'clock. I feel like such an old lady, but I'm like,
Yes.
I can't. I'm done.
I'm so exhausted. I definitely think the time change has still gotten to me because,
Yeah.
yeah, once it's dark, I'm instant exhaustion.
Mhm. Yeah, same. So, I feel like that's something I need to implement in my house now, but it's so hard. My husband works we live in Alexandria, Virginia, and he works in Arlington, and the traffic around like, anywhere around DC is insane. So, like, I
Yes,
see him for, like, a little bit in the morning and then, like, a little bit at night. There's very little time
I know. Oh
for that.
my gosh. Yeah, that is yeah, commute. That is one thing I do not miss anymore.
Yeah. I bet. I mean, I have been working at home or like a stay-at-home mom for like a solid 8 years. I do not miss having to like go to an office at all.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, I had a 45-minute commute there and back, and it really wasn't that far. It was just the traffic, and
It's
I
insane.
I'm a cursor in the car. I'm, like, yelling at other people. It was messy.
It's so stressful too. And then you like it just like sets this bad tone for your whole day because it's like draining and I get so upset when I have to drive in
Yes,
it. I will, like, avoid getting in my car anytime around, like, the morning or evening commute just so I don't have to deal with it.
I hear you. I am the same way.
Yeah. So, did you start your business with the club or, like, as a service base, like, people would hire you for hosting help with their own events and parties, or how did that happen?
I originally started everything for somewhat of, like, more service-based, and also my big thing was these party playbooks. So it kinda was like a whole big PDF and invitations too that did include an invitation that you can edit, decor ideas, themes ideas, down to, like, what you can do for a gift table. It was all considered in this little PDF, and then also menus and recipes. And I was selling that, like, started off with my kid's birthday, and I love playing that, so I'm like, "I'm gonna make that a party kit." So that's kinda originally where that started, and I do love cooking for these events. So that's kinda where the hosting club kinda formed because every month I'm usually having a big kind of get together. I have people over at my house a lot, but a big get together, so I'm like, "Why don't I make this like a hosting club?" And if people wanna follow on, great. There's themes that we can do, there's decor, and everything's on Amazon because I am not spending $1,000,000 on decor that I'm gonna use once. So that was, kinda where it morphed, and then the podcast is just its own little outlier of just 2 parents just BSing about life and chaos and also talking about other people building businesses.
Yeah, that's so fun. I love that, you do it for kids' birthday parties too, or
Mhm.
the party pack was. That's so smart. I hate kids' birthday parties, I won't lie to you. Only, like, the organizing of it,
Mhm.
but we've, like, hosted them at, like, specific places, like a trampoline park or
Yeah,
anything, but it gets so expensive, it's insane.
I know. Oh my gosh. I
I
looked
think
at
for
one for,
6
like, the when they turned 2, and I'm like, "I really can't do this anywhere outside my house." Like, places are even just, like, to order a bounce house in the Tampa Bay area to your house was even, like, crazy.
Yeah, it was wild. We ended up doing I think it was, like, a trampoline park, and the max was, like, 6 kids we could have, and, like, 3 of them are our own, and we had to, like, bring our
Gosh.
own food and decorations, and it was still, like, 6 or $700,
What?
and I was like, "Wait, for a kid's birthday?"
That is
Yeah,
insane.
it was wild. So, I think I'm gonna hop on this, hosting at my house trend and do
Like
it there.
yeah, that is crazy. That was something we ran into too, like, the anything you get rented even at the home or go is just crazy expensive, so yeah, that's why I was like, I'm building things that are very easy Amazon purchases, and then recipes that are done within 30 minutes or less because I don't have time to do extravagant stuff. And then also I'm giving tons of tips on what you can store buy versus make, and that has saved my life too.
Yeah, that's so smart because I feel like I would love to, like, do something at my house, but I'm, like, not a super creative person, and I'm also, like, trying to do so many other things. I don't know if I would have it in me to, like, come up with, like, the cute theme and, like, find the recipes and the decorations and everything, so that's, like, genius. I'm keeping this in mind for my next kid's birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, that was the one big thing. I kept looking online, and I would see, like, decor, like, these Pinterest boards. I'm like, "Okay, great. Now I gotta go to different places for, like, menu ideas." I'm like, "Okay, great. Now I need to go to different places for, like, the party favors." So I'm like, "Let me just make all this at once, and if it can help one person, great. That's all I need."
Yeah, like, it's so hard to, like, sit down and find, like, put all the different pieces together.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah.
Especially for me who, like, I'm just, like, not that creative a person. If it were up to me, it would be, like, probably a very lame birthday party, honestly. So, I'm very glad this exists.
Awesome.
For the club you have specifically, what do you think is the thing about it that, like, most people get really excited about or, like, gives you the best feedback on?
I think it's really like I've gotten like 2 is really the decor aspect. So I will do like you see on Pinterest, like a mood board, but then everything has direct links so you can get whatever you want. And I try to offer like 2 or 3 different types of styles. And then the recipes, I will give you an entire like full menu of appetizers, mains, sides, drinks, alcoholic and not, and desserts. And it varies on every month. Um, but and then I give the recipes with the direct links to that. And most than probably 90% are mine. And then about 10%, like I love Half Baked Harvest and I will pep that woman up anytime. So I offer like I will say this is Half Baked Harvest recipe, go to her website. But everything is so easy to do and doesn't have to take a lot of time. Yeah, anything that I can tell people of tips and tricks on what to prep in advance, because 'cause I'll do that. Like, if it's some dip, I'm like, "Hey, prep this 3 days before, you're good, don't worry about it." Or I give a whole schedule too of the day of, like, what should you be doing, and not only with food, like, set this decor up, maybe get a playlist on, maybe, like, even small tips, like one of my biggest pet peeves, and no one else knows this, is going to somebody's house and their bathroom is a disaster. And I'm not saying, like, you gotta clean it, but, like, have, like, toilet paper that's enough on the roll, like, have hand soap out, a hand towel. That's what we're talking about. But just stupid things like that, I'm going in, I'm like, "This is just somebody probably needs this advice, and I'm gonna give it."
No, that's super valid. I could definitely see that being like, all these things going on that would just be like one that you forget to do if it's not like written down like on a to-do list somewhere. That's like super smart to have. I love that you break it down and make it so easy because I would definitely be the person that would forget to do that.
I
Like
try.
forget one of those things
I
or be like my anxiety would be like, wait, when do I do this? When do I turn the music on? What do we do now? That would be me. So,
Yeah, that literally, that was my sister, and she was the one who actually helped me because she's like she is not like, schedule oriented, or I love her to death, but she does not have that, like, brain to think, so she's like,
yeah.
"Dumb this down so, like, what I would do." And I'm like, "Great." So we did this plan, and we did that whole checklist based on that, and it worked.
Yeah, that's so smart. I love
Yeah.
that. For people who want to try it out before jumping into the club, can you tell us about the free guide that you have?
Yes, so I have like, my family's Italian, so I'm Italian food all day, every day. But I have, like, a little Italian kinda, like, mini party playbook, and you can just kinda get a little sneak peek, and I did include, like, one of our big family recipes in there. Also, like, what to do for apps, drinks, size, decor ideas. That's, like, a free little downloadable PDF that I have on my website. But, yeah, it's just something easy to go through, just kinda get a little taste test, if you will, and then also I on there have, like, a little comparison of what's in that little playbook versus what you get in the bigger ones and then versus the hosting club. So, it's just something if you need just a random idea to throw a fun evening, just even if it's just you and your partner or you and your kids or your friends, you have something there.
I love that. I feel like so many people I talk to are so busy and stressed with like so much to do.
Mhm.
Having both like the time to kind of slow down and like have this like connection based like togetherness time, but
Yes.
also a way to make it easy to do is like so very much needed
Yeah.
for so many people.
Yes. That was my thought process. I'm like, if I can help another person out that, again, their parents running around like crazy or they just don't know where to even start, just like a little guide, just a little how to.
I love that. I will for sure put the link for that in the show notes. And then can you tell listeners where else they can find you, like on Instagram or your podcast?
Yes. So Instagram is back to home base, and that's TWO. And same thing, website, backtohomebase.com. And then my podcast is Planned Ish, PLANNED ISH, because that really is my entire life.
Perfect. And I will put the link for all of those things in the show notes. And thank you so much for coming on and talking with us today.
Thank you so much. This was awesome, and I love chatting.
That's it for this episode of Mompreneur Mastery. If you're building a business around your life, not the other way around, and you're tired of being told to hustle harder to make sales when you're already hustling at 110%, I hope this gave you a breath of fresh air. And if it did, I would love it if you left a quick review or shared this with another mom entrepreneur who is ready to market with more strategy and way less stress. And if you want to see what a cohesive content map across multiple platforms with strategic messaging looks like, check out the link in the show notes to grab your free copy of the Buyer Journey Content Map. I'll see you next time.